Ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary unicorns, please put your hands and hooves together for the man with all the magic, the man with the real wizardry, that guy that's been doing this under a different name for such a long time. It's Neil Trigger!
Hi. Hopefully this is going to work this time. I don't know whether it will or not, and I'm not terribly confident, but let's give it a try. Third time lucky. So for those of you who haven't seen before, I'm going to be making a spellbook, and it's going to look like this. Yeah. What on earth is that? There's something weird there. Is that over this side? I think it probably is. One sec. That's bizarre. Not quite sure what that's all about. So honestly, I don't quite know what's going on at the moment. This is really starting to do my nut. So if I squeeze that in just a touch, there we go. Hopefully everything's going to be fine. Did I reboot my computer? I did. Yes. Yeah. I know. Do I know what's been causing issues? I think I do. It's literally everybody in the house is streaming video right now. So I've basically said, I'll give you some data on your service plan on your mobile phone if you just use that, please. I think that's okay. I think it's all right now. So hopefully, they can sort all that out and I can go live and use the actual internet. I think everybody has kind of gone, it's been really sunny, lovely and wonderful, and now it's chucking it down with rain, so let's stay in and watch movies on streaming services. So my internet service provider's probably gone, and and just spazzed out a bit. So yeah, this is what we're going to be making. We're going to be making this wonderful, awesome, evil spellbook. So before I get into any of that, and hopefully this isn't going to crash, but we'll try. Thank you to these wonderful people. These are my patrons and members, and they help me out every single month. They're awesome, wonderful, amazing people. So we've got Artemis, Blue Lady, Chivalrous Tube, Jay Scheffler, Jovis, Kaylee Christensen, and Tina Harrington, and they're amazing. If you want to be one of these wonderful people, just head on down to the links in the description and check it out. So there we go. You're buffering. I'm buffering again. No, I'm not. No. I'm not. I can see that I'm not, so don't do that. Yeah, the previous two streams today have been buffering. I get it. I also understand why, I think. So let's get rid of this. Let's have a bit of a laugh about it. Not that much of a laugh about it. And hopefully then we can just get on with making this wonderful thing. So I've got a whole load of things, some of which you can probably see around and about. These are like my technical bits and bobs, so hopefully that's not going to cause too much of a problem. This is the ultimately, what it's going to look like. But here's one I didn't prepare earlier. So I'm going to get rid of this at the moment. I mean, it's zeroing out on the green screen anyway. That's what it looks like in real life. This is what it looks like in green screen. I'm now going to put that away for a second. You can win that, by the way, the evil spellbook. You can win that on today's 6 p.m. live stream. Ta-da! So this is what it's going to look like to begin with. So you're just going to get yourself an old book. This one is Harlan Coben Long Lost. Don't know which. I mean, I'm guessing Long Lost is probably the title. I'm guessing. Yeah, there you go. And Harlan Coben is probably the person that wrote it. I don't know these things. But basically I went to a charity shop and I bought this book. It was like 50p. Now of course you can read it if you want to, but we're just going to convert it into a Halloween decoration. And what I've decided to do is use EVA foam. Now this is the sort of rubbery, foamy stuff that you can get from places like Hobbycraft, stuff like that. I'm also just going to cover over. I've noticed that I've got this like weird streak on the film. So hopefully oh, it is that. No, I can't do anything about that, I don't think. Maybe I can, maybe I can't, I'm not sure. Let's see if I can help out here. No, that's going to cause problems. Right, just leave it. That's behind the scenes stuff. Right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to take some of this foam rubbery stuff and basically cut it out. Now I have already done this on my Cricut cutting machine. If you don't have a Cricut cutting machine, don't worry about it. If you do, you can always buy the plans from me. I'm going to put them all on my Etsy store, and again the link is down in the description in case you need any of that. The reason for that is because the reason is, if you look at this one was all done by hand, so you can cut it out by hand using scissors, and you'll get something similar to this. Now if you look really closely, you'll be able to tell that this is not a perfect circle. It looks kind of good, but it's not a perfect circle. And these fonts here was just drawn out by me using a pen, and then I cut them out as best I could. Not the best way of doing it by any means, and you'll see the difference in a second. So that's what you're going to need. You're also going to need a book. You're also going to need EVA foam. You're going to need some glasses like this, and some water in a glass like this. You're also going to need, possibly, I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to need this. You can either use some cotton buds like this. Where is it? There we go. Cotton buds. Or you can use some colour shapers. Now I've got some colour shapers, so I'm probably not going to use the cotton buds, but they're basically for exactly the same thing. So in a moment we're going to need to sort of push down and rub around the edges, just so that, well, I'll show you the next bit. So we've got some tissue paper here. Now this is basically kitchen roll or kitchen towel. It's kind of like toilet tissue for the kitchen, I guess. And you peel it. So you peel off one side and you just separate the layers. This one's a 3-ply, so you've actually got a fair amount of it. But all you really need is one or possibly two. Oh, nice. Possibly 2 sheets. The fan makes me look like I'm in a music video. Why? Because my hair's flickering around. How very exciting. I could turn it up. Only kidding. Lynn Kirby is in the house. Hello to you. I will press this button, but it's just probably not going to work. So yeah, sorry about that. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to change this so it's a looping file. Just one moment, and then we'll turn it on. And then it's locked for some reason. That's really weird. There we go. Yeah, that's really strange, isn't it? I don't get what that's all about at all. I'm also going to need to do that for real or fake later, so I'm going to remind Chivalrous Tube, please make me sort this out. Okay, so if I press this button, there we go, it's sorted. Don't know what's gone on with that. Oh my, so much to fix. What in the world did you do? I don't actually know. So that's why the logo was hiding somewhere off screen. I think it probably was. I think what I moved was the whole group. So now I've got to move each of them individually, and there's quite a few of them. So anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to be making this amazing spell book, if I can find it again. This one here. It's a spell book Halloween decoration. We're going to be making this, and I'm going to show you how. So the way that we do this, we've got some PVA glue down here. This thing, it's just the standard own brand. It's called Dial. Where is it? There we go. It's called Dial, and this is the one that you get from B&Q or any kind of hobby, not hobby, DIY shop. Obviously this is a huge amount. I use this for woodworking and stuff like that, but you don't really need that much. It's basically Mod Podge. If anyone of American persuasion is online at the moment, it is basically Mod Podge. You kind of need to squeeze it in order to get into it. I should have probably opened this off camera. Oh, blimey. Thankfully, I'm a Boy Scout. I used to be anyway. So I did come prepared. So if it needs a bit of persuasion, then you can persuade it a bit. So, it's all about having the right tools sometimes. It is coming off slowly. Now, PVA stands for polyvinyl acetate. Ooh, I know. And basically all that means is that it turns into a kind of a plastic. So this is the sort of drippy down the side of it. So yeah, you can buy this in a craft shop, but basically it turns into a plastic kind of glue once it's dry. But it is also water soluble, which means that you can put it on your hands and it doesn't sort of stick your fingers together. You can also get quite good Halloween effects by sort of spreading it thinly on your hand and then waiting for it to dry a little bit and then peeling it off and it looks like skin. I used to do that a lot when I was in primary school. It's very good fun. So what I'm going to do, pardon me, is take one of these little ramekin dishes. It's from a cheesecake, I think, that we bought from the supermarket, and just pour in, whoops, a little bit of glue. Hopefully, there we go. It's not too bad. And just put the lid on, make sure that's all safe. I know what I'm like. I'm almost certain to spill some of this. I think this is working all right, though, isn't it? I mean, you should be able to see two different angles on here, so that's quite cool. Right, let's get rid of that one. All right, so we have the white PVA glue. It's not milk. You're not going to work. You're not going to mix that one up at all. I've also got some paints. Now, we're not going to get to the paint stage just yet. We may not even be able to do it on the live stream. Kind of depends on how much time I've got. But I'm going to aim to do that. So yeah, don't jinx it. Yeah, right. Tell me about it. So first thing we're going to need, we've got all of the foamy bits already cut out from my Cricut here in this little bag. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pour them all out so you can roughly get some sort of idea as to what it's going to look like. So first things first is assemble the star. Now I've done this in 5 separate sections, and the reason that I've done that is so that you can see. That's blatantly not right, is it? Right, there we go. So that you can see how it goes together. Now you don't need to do this. You could do it all in one section, but I just think it would look better if we did it like this, because I kind of prefer the deconstructed star, I suppose is probably the best way of putting it. So it starts to come together quite easily. Just make sure that all of the angular bits are all in the right orientation. So the best way to do it is to kind of go, right, that makes sense there. That wouldn't, but that does. And then it kind of goes like that. All right. So that's how that's going to look. And then you've got evil up the top and spells across the bottom. Now if you're going to do an evil spell, you probably want it inverted, as an inverted pentagram like that. Some people say that's the sign of the devil, other people say it's the sign of the Wiccan second degree. However you want to say that, that's fine. Now this is an I, so I know that that one goes on the 3rd letter up here. That's a P for a spell, and you've got the capital E up here. And as you can see, the font looks a lot better on this than it did on the previous one. In fact, I think that's actually supposed to be upside down. There we go. And you've got an L here, again upside down. E, V, I, there we go, evil. S, where is it? Like that. S, P, E, oh, the irony of spelling spells. Spells. Evil spells. So you just arrange them as you want to, and then you just put a little bit of glue on. Now I'm not going to do that just yet. The first thing I want to do is to assemble this circle. So I'm going to put these to one side for a second and make sure that the fan doesn't get them. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to do this part. Now I've got here a whole bunch of brushes, lots and lots of brushes, tons of them. And I'm going to put glue over it. I will put glue over the whole thing in a minute, but what I'm going to do is to take a medium-sized brush like this, and I'm going to dip it into the glue. Hopefully you can see that, like that. Now the good thing about this is that it doesn't actually need to be particularly accurate. It doesn't need to be accurate at all, in fact, because all you're going to do is just put down enough to make it tacky, and that's it. And there we go. And the reason being is that it doesn't really matter what it looks like, because it's all going to be covered up in a minute anyway. Just got some glue on a piece of hair here, and I don't really want to get rid of it until the glue's off. So that's what we do. Now here, the other thing to bear in mind is that this is all undiluted PVA glue. Because it's water-based, you can dilute it, so you can just pour water on it, basically, to sort of make it not quite as thick. I'm not going to do that because I want it quite thick and gloopy, because I want it to adhere as best you can. In a minute we will be doing that though. We will be diluting it. So again, we're just going to have to lift this one up. There we go. And again, it doesn't really matter too much if it's not, you know, really tidy. If it's a little bit messy, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure it looks good. That's the main thing. Take those off for a minute. And also there's a bit of dust on there, so you don't want to go doing that. And I'm sorry about the comments, by the way. I will be ignoring you for a little bit just while I get this on. Is it because the two corners are supposed to represent the devil horns? Yes, that's exactly it. In fact, if you overlay a goat's head onto the upside down pentacle, that's exactly what it's supposed to be. Yeah. Now the other thing is, these colour shapers here, because they are made of silicone or tipped with silicone, they don't stick. So even if I just leave it on there, I don't need to worry about washing them out, because the glue will actually peel off silicone, because silicone only ever sticks to itself. That's the best thing about silicone, you see. I think just to make my life a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is to go over absolutely all of this, and that way then I can just slap on those shapes, and I don't have to worry too much about whether or not there's glue under it. So, and by using a flat brush like that, I can tilt it in a similar way to a calligraphy marker, so that I can get thick or thin lines depending on what I want to do. Okay. And again, you don't have to worry too much about whether or not this is neat. It's all going to be covered up and painted afterwards anyway. Okay. Go all the way to the edge there. And then... so it will need a bit of fiddling just to make sure that you get it absolutely right. Okay, I will wash out this brush though, because I don't want the brush to get wrecked. So I'll wash that out. Now I've got a whole load of different pots and stuff like that, but when it comes to washing out glue, it's always best to have a large amount of water. It's not so much of a worry with paint, but with glue, you know, for obvious reasons, you're going to want to make that, you know, a nice brush. You want to keep it a nice brush. So I've got some more kitchen roll here. All it is, literally, it's just this sort of stuff, you know, stuff that you find in your kitchen. But it's super handy as well for washing out brushes. Who knew? So I use that all the time just to give it a bit of a wipe over. So let's put that one in there with the other brushes and then just start to assemble this thing. So what it needs to do is it needs to go from one point over here, there, and then underneath this one to here. And then that way then you can kind of almost draw it with your finger to say it goes from here. I'll point actually, there you go, that's probably easier. So it goes from here to there, and then back under here, which is why these two need to be aligned here, and then to there, then up under this one to here, then down and up again, so these two need to be aligned as well. And that's probably the best and easiest way, just to say, is this all aligned, does that look right? I think the whole thing is probably shifted over a little bit too far that way, so just going to move the whole thing across a little bit. Like that. And again, it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, but it just needs to be sort of like it. Looks like you put too much glue on those two corners, to be honest, but I know you know what you're doing. Yeah, so it does look like there's a little bit too much glue on here. If you want, you could always grab some tissue and just wipe it off. It's not the end of the world. I'm not too worried about it because in this heat it will probably dry quite nicely anyway. But yeah, I see what you mean. You could always take that off. It's not the end of the world though, honestly, it's absolutely fine just doing it like that. Just wipe that off, and then I'll put that in a little ball in a glass just to make sure that it's out of the way. Okay, so that's all done. I'm going to leave that to one side to dry, and hopefully in this heat it will dry fairly quickly. And then go back to the main event. This is the book itself, and we're going to load it up with these letters. So we're making a spell book. So for those of you who have just joined, we are making a spell book that is going to eventually look like this, but better because these were cut out by hand. These were cut out by a machine. If you want the plans, they're all going to be on my Etsy store, link in the description. So if you're catching this up, it will happen. I'll upload it after this live stream anyway. Vegetarian Cannibal, hello to you. Sorry, I haven't really been keeping up with the whole chat thing. So where is it? That way. Chat thing. So let's do this. I didn't know you're supposed to put glue all over it and not under it. You are going to be putting glue under it in a moment, but for now we just need to sort of leave it to dry. So you do put glue under it. You will in a minute. It does look messy, but I'm sure you'll make it awesome when you finish it and put glue all over it and paint it as well. Yeah. What does the brush feel like? It's actually incredibly soft. This is really, really soft, these ones. I bought them for like £27, I think, from Hobbycraft, so they're not cheap ones, to be honest with you, but they are very, very good ones. I do probably need to wash this out a little bit more. I've also got some other water as well, which is quite helpful. The good thing about this as well is that once you wash it out once, if you wash it out again with some clean water, you can pour that into the big bottle or the big tub, and then you're perfectly ready to go, perfectly clean. So again, just wash that one out, just make sure it's really, really clean. Because that PVA was quite strong to begin with, by doing this, it's a way of making sure that your brush is totally clean. Now normally I wouldn't worry too much about that, but because it's glue, it does turn into plastic, so you don't want your bristles being glued together. It's a really, really bad idea, especially for something, you know, brand new brushes like this. If you can use cheap brushes, do. I don't have any. I know that sounds so conceited. I don't have cheap brushes. No, but yeah, I don't have cheap brushes. These are only expensive ones. Okay. Can you wash it and reuse it later on? Yeah, absolutely. Or is it a one kind? No, it's not a one-use kind of thing. If you're using PVA, you should definitely be able to use it more than once. That answers that. Cool. I made it on time. Vegetarian Cannibal, you did. Well done. Yeah, this is an earlier stream. I will be going live again at 6 with the sort of usual stream. But this is how to make an evil spellbook Halloween decoration. Washes brushes in the washing machine. Looks like you put two. Yeah, okay. I was talking about the blue one, not the orange one. The blue one, not the orange one. Oh, these. No, these are colour shapers. So these are silicone. So you don't even need to wash them out, really. All you do is just peel it off once it's dry. Because they're silicone, they don't stick to anything. So that's kind of cool. Yes, right. So now that we've got these sort of roughly in place, again, all we need to do. I don't really know why I washed this one out actually, but there we are. A bit more PVA, and I'm just going to move everything, but it just makes it an awful lot easier if all you do is just smother it. It may look like it's really, really thick, and it kind of is. I'm not putting it on too thickly, but because the glue itself is thick, it looks like I'm putting on tons. I'm really not. I'm putting it on fairly sparingly. But I'm just spreading it out a lot, and because it's fairly thick anyway, it will look white. It will dry clear, but for now it kind of looks pretty white. Okay. Now again, I'm going to leave that for a moment. I'm just going to slide these up, and then I'm going to put some more on at the bottom here. This is for the word spells, so this is where the spells will go. And again, I'm just going to put it on just so that it can sort of start to go off almost, so start to get really, really tacky. Because I don't particularly want them sliding about all over the place, and also because I'm going live, I don't really want this to be a 15-hour live stream. So spread it out nice and thin, and then just leave it for a little bit. This is almost like contact cement that, you know, it shouldn't be on there forever. But it, you know, you just need it to go a bit tacky. I want this to be a 15-hour live stream. That's very sweet of you. I'm not sure most people would agree though. Twin Blasters, hello, how are you doing? For those of you who don't know, I mean, I'm guessing you've probably seen the thumbnail anyway. We're making a spellbook Halloween decoration, and we're doing it live. So this is kind of interesting, I guess. Need some more water. So again, we're doing the double wash thing. So we've got a sort of main receptacle, this one here. That's to wash out the main brush, and then wash it out for a second time because I really don't want glue on my expensive brushes. I think I'm running out of space though. Okay, that'll do. Right, so that's pretty much it for the glue. And then over here, we just need to stick them down roughly where we want them. And as you can see, they are pretty tacky now. And actually over here, this is starting to go off quite nicely. So if you have any questions, feel free to just contact me on the chat if you can. You need a bucket. Well, yeah, maybe. So that's the word evil done. I think I might just need to push that over a little bit. And the word spells. And again, I don't need to worry too much about whether or not this is particularly tacky. The reason being is that, actually I think that's probably the bottom piece. I think that's upside down. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, the reason being is I think that once you put them down like this, the other good thing about PVA is you can get it on your finger if you miss a spot, and then just wipe it off. What was I saying? I can't remember now. Yeah, so you don't need to worry too much about them being really, really tacky. You just need to worry about whether or not they stick. Because if they sort of stick, but they're not really, really, really adhered, it's not the end of the world. You can always either move them around later, or you can just put some more glue over the top, because this isn't what the final look is going to look like at all. It's just to kind of keep it in place until you do the next stage. L, L, and then S is the final one. So is it like that? I think it probably is more like that. Put that one there. Now ordinarily I would say leave that for a bit, but we're not going to do that. We are going to instead move on with the next bit. So again, the same old brush. The reason I'm washing this out so much is because it's really, really hot here in the UK, and if I do just leave it, even if it's only for a couple of minutes, as you can tell with this one, it starts to go off, which, you know, I don't want it going off inside my brush, so I'd much rather just sort of water it down a bit. Or even wash it off completely. I know you guys are saying things over in the comments, so I will be there in a second. Add some weird symbols. Yeah, I would ordinarily do that, but I just don't think there's going to be enough space on this one. I do have some corner pieces and things like that. And by the way, if you're a member, you can win this. So if you're not a member already, head on down to the link in the description and you can win this. So we're going to be doing Real or Fake as a sort of game show at 6 PM tonight, and if you're a member you can be entered into that and you can win, which is cool. I should probably have made a stipulation actually that you've got to watch this and do it, because I don't think there are any other members actually. I think unfortunately that means that Chivalrous Troopers won by default. Not unfortunate that he has won, but unfortunate that no other members are here, which is a bit of a shame. But there we are. Okay. Oh dear. Anyone spot the deliberate mistake? Oh no. So these are going to need to be repositioned up a little bit, because there's just not enough space. Oh dear. But that's not the end of the world. So the good thing about PVA is until it properly goes off, when it does become like rock, you can still position these things quite nicely. So that's not too bad. Just got to make sure I don't tear it when I'm peeling them up now, because they are starting to stick quite nicely. I'll also do a bit of a curve on this as well, I think, because that looks quite nice. Okay. Alright, I think we're almost there. Just reposition that one a little bit. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. We'll wash this one out again. Right, sorry. Let's have a look at what this says. It looks a bit purple on the screen. It does look a little bit purple. I think that's probably more of the refractive index of the glue. It doesn't really look particularly purple on here. It looks a little bit bluish. I do get that. I think you added too much glue. I don't. I know it looks like I've added too much glue. It's because the glue is really, really thick. It's actually very, very thinly applied, but because it's quite potent stuff, it's not been diluted, then yes, it does look like I've added too much. Bob Rossett, yeah, right. Add some weird symbols. Ooh, corner pieces. Yeah, so I've got some corner pieces that I might add to this. I don't know whether I will or not yet. Maybe I will. You silly, silly goose. Yeah. Oh well. It's fine. Oh wow, you can just peel it off. I like that glue. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I do like PVA. Polyvinyl acetate. It turns into plastic once it's dry. The good thing about PVA as well, although it's probably a bit of a moot point on a book, is that you can also soak it, and after a while it'll turn back into a glue. It takes quite a long time. It's definitely not the best way of doing it. It's best to get it right first. Ooh, that's too full. Oh well. Never mind. Never mind. So that is that stage. That's pretty much it. What we do next. I've just used the wrong piece of paper for this. Oh well, never mind. That's, again, it's not the end of the world. The good thing about this whole project is that if you mess up, you probably haven't messed up too bad. So just leave that sort of to crack on. It's looking quite good so far. So hopefully you can see that. Evil spells. So this piece here, yes, I see why you would think that there's too much on there. Maybe there is. But again, it's not too thick. It's just the fact that it's quite potent glue. It's not been diluted, in other words, so it's straight out of the bottle. So it will look quite a bit thicker than normal. It will certainly look whiter than normal. I could just put that up against the fan for a little bit of time. What colour are you going to paint it? Well, the last one, so I don't know whether you've seen, where is it? This one here. So the last one was green. I couldn't find any green in the hobby store, unfortunately. I do have some other acrylic paints, but I've actually got some purple here, so I was going to do a purple. I'm going to do it a lot darker than the last one, and hopefully it's going to turn out okay. So we'll do that in just a second, but first, this is the really fun bit. This is the bit that I really enjoy. And we're going to do it in a slightly strange way. I like the style you added there, thank you very much. Of course it's purple. Yeah, purple is my favourite colour. Some people know that, some people don't. Refricriv? I don't know what you're talking about. I want to put the glue all over my hands and body. Do you? Okay, modern day waxing technique, dumb or smart? It's not smart. Ooh, a purple book with green letters. That would look horrid. I'm going to have a quick drink, but thank you for staying around. I will be right back. I'm back. Okay, so what we've got next is some tissue paper. And this isn't any old tissue paper, this is basically kitchen roll. So it comes on a roll similar to this. So this is actually literally my one from downstairs that I use to clean up mops and spills. I'm sure everybody calls it something different, from kitchen towel, kitchen paper, kitchen roll, whatever you want to call it. Kitchen bog roll, I don't know. Anyway, this one that I've got is a fairly expensive one. It doesn't need to be, but this one is a 3-ply. So basically all you do, you just peel it. So there's 3 different layers. I did have a pen here somewhere, and I can't remember where I put it. It's a pin pen. It's probably hiding behind here somewhere. Basically, it's just a pin on a pen, and I use it for weeding and cricketing stuff. So if you've got a pen or sharp nails or whatever, just peel a layer. You do have to be quite careful, but this one came apart fairly easily, even with my massive ham hands. And all you then do is to lay it over the book like this, and I don't know, I'll put something on top of it just for now. But here we need a big brush. I suppose this one will probably do. And all I do is just take a brush load of water and just add it piece by piece to the glue. You could use a pipette. I could risk sort of pouring it. I don't think I'm going to risk pouring it, but for now this is going to work absolutely fine. So I'm just going to take some water like this and just sort of water down the glue. You know what, this is not working fast enough, not by a long way, so I'm going to take some tissue. I'm going to prepare because I know I'm going to spill it. Right, let's do this. Twin Blasters has said something. What have you said? My friend puts glue on her hand and then peels it off. She thinks it's satisfying. I have heard that. I used to do that when I was in school too. So, yeah, totally get it. Okay, so this is so going to go everywhere, isn't it? Yes, and there it goes. All over my desk. At least I was prepared though, because I kind of knew that would happen. Right, now you'll see what's happening with this tissue paper just here. It's going very soggy, and that's because it's such a thin layer. I'm going to put that in the bin actually, and then I'll use it again later. So, okay. So now that I've got the glue all watered down, I'm just going to mix that all up. It's going to be a little while to do that. So you don't want this too thick, because otherwise you're just going to tear the tissue. It needs to be quite watery, sort of a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 mixture, something like that. So it should look kind of like milk. Don't drink this. I mean, I think it'll probably allow you to survive, maybe. Hiroto Maori, hello to you. I think I've seen you in my comments before. So yeah, I'm good, thanks. How you doing? What we're doing at the moment is making... Ta-da! We're making a spellbook. It's going to look sort of like this, hopefully a little bit better. And ultimately, what we're doing, we're making that layer right now. So far, we've taken the spellbook, or the book, we've covered it in rubber, and now we're covering it in a single sheet from tissue roll, like kitchen roll, and then we're just going to wet it with this PVA mix. Now it doesn't really matter too much if it's sort of wrinkly. Hopefully you can see that on camera. I don't know whether you can or not, but basically all you're going to do is drip it all on and press it in, and then this is the satisfying bit. This is really satisfying for me, I think, but all you do is just drip it on and then sort of push it in. And this is one of the reasons why I've got this brush, because it's quite wide so I can put wide sweeps on it, but also quite sharp so that I can pick out the detail. Now the other thing you could do, if you've got a colour shaper, you could use a colour shaper which looks like this. It's basically a silicone tip, and then you don't have to worry too much about it sticking. But a brush carries the liquid with it, so it's probably preferable. That's why I'm using it. Sometimes the expensive tools really aren't the best. Sometimes you can get away with stuff, sometimes it's better to use the cheaper stuff. So if I had a cheaper brush, I'd probably use the cheaper brush right now, because I don't really like using expensive brushes for this, but you can. And hopefully you can see that this is now starting to come out. You see that? it is really satisfying. But what's really good about using the tissue paper, because you could just sort of paint it at that previous stage, but by using the tissue paper you've got like a skinny kind of texture. Because this is being peeled, it's got the pores on it, so it kind of looks like snake skin, and because you're sort of brushing it over with a liquid, it kind of looks wrinkled again like skin. So I really like this technique. I'm going to brush that up because I don't want any glue on my desk, because this is my normal work desk. So I mean, although it's mine, you know, it wasn't provided to me by work. I use it for work, so I'd rather it isn't sticky and bumpy and all that stuff. So is that not cool? So what exactly is this going to do? This is going to make the texture look right. This is going to finish it prior to painting, and it also allows the paint to stick better. It will, honestly, it will look good once this is all finished. It will look really good. Now with some of the detail, you are going to need to sort of get it quite wet so that tissue has a bit more give in it, just like that S there, and then you can sort of jab at it to get those details coming up. Unfortunately, doing that, it does also add some bubbles to it, which is a bit of a pain. Now, if you're following along at home, I don't know whether you will, you probably aren't, you didn't know I was doing this. If you're following along at home on replay though, don't go too far ahead just yet, because you don't want to do the spine, and I'll show you why in a minute. We can do the spine later, but don't do it just yet. Might want to fast forward to the bit where we do the spine, but yeah, we're not going to do that just yet. Okay, I'm going to catch up with comments because I think we're allowed to do that right now. Let's do this. Rest in peace the glue. Yeah, I do that with glue and candle wax. Yeah, I do that with glue and candle wax. Okay. Oh dear, how are you? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. At least it's not all over your Stream Deck or keyboard. The Stream Deck's over there, the keyboard's over here. We're good, I think. So I mean, you can kind of see. That does look like a spillage. It's not. It's just the bag where I was keeping all the plastic, all the rubber stuff. So let's carry on with that for a little bit. I can see it's wrinkly. Yep. Can you add some designs in the back? You can. Absolutely, you can. I'm not going to, but yes, you can. I mean, the good thing about this is that it's entirely your making. You can do whatever you want with it. The design that I'm doing at the moment is going to be available on my Etsy store, so if you want to buy that, it's down there. And this physical thing is going to be available to members on tonight's live stream. So if you want to buy one, you can. If you want to win one, you can. But you will need to be a member. It's $1.99 per month from the link down in the description. Right, so I'm going up to the spine, but I'm not going over the spine just yet. And that's because you don't want it to crack. Ultimately, the PVA or polyvinyl acetate is a plastic, so you don't want anything sort of nasty to happen at the spine. You certainly don't want it overstretching, so if you open it, it cracks. If it's only going to be a decoration that isn't going to be opened, of course that isn't really a big deal. You could just crack on. But if you want it to be a prop that can be opened as well, yeah, don't. Do it this way instead. And again, because it's supposed to be a bit funky looking, it doesn't matter too much if the tissue rips. You don't want massive gaping holes in it, so you're going to need to be fairly careful. But you don't have to worry too much if it does rip a little bit, because it, kind of adds to it a little bit. as long as they're sparse and sparing. You know, you don't want too much of it. That's what I'm trying to say, in a very, very roundabout way. I'm a streamer. You know, why use one word when 15 will do? Okay, I am going to catch up with chat. Sorry. Looks like bubble wrap. Does it? Oh, I suppose it does a little bit. Yeah, this bit. Once it gets wet, hopefully it doesn't. It's just the texture of the kitchen roll, and every kitchen roll is different. Again, the cheapest stuff is actually the best most often. But once you put the water on it, it looks good. Thank you. I would, but I'm so unprepared. I don't even have that kind of glue. Fair enough. I only have Elmer's sparkly glue you use for slime. Elmer's glue, I think, is basically the same stuff, generally speaking, but the sparkly stuff, yeah, you wouldn't want to use that for this. Number one, it's too expensive, and number two, it probably wouldn't look that great. I mean, you could always paint it afterwards, I suppose, and then it probably wouldn't make much difference, but yeah, Elmer's glue, I think, is roughly the same sort of stuff. I don't know, I could be wrong on that. We don't have Elmer's glue in the UK unless we're in sort of a specialist place, and normally buying it for slime. You're so using it for slime though, aren't you? I know what you're like. Okay, and then once that's done, again, you just leave it to dry. But that's kind of how we're going to go with it. Now, the other thing that you can do with this as well is, as long as it's closed, then you can start to do this, right? So you can start to do the spine and things like that. You wouldn't want it to be done if it was open, because if it's open, it sort of contracts the spine a little bit. So it's from there, it sort of does this, which then makes the distance between here a lot smaller. So then when you stretch it out, then it just rips down the side. You don't want to go doing that. Now you can faff about with this as much as you like, but I think I'm pretty much happy with it at the moment. So again, all we're going to do is just to leave that, and we can have a bit of a chat, say hello to members and all of that, and I'm going to be able to catch up on the live chat as well, which is cool. And because I've poured away some of that water as well, I can wash my brush out properly, which is good. Why am I making it? It's not Halloween yet. Well, because, very good question actually, and I was thinking, is this too early for a Halloween decoration? I don't know. The reason being is, number one, I've got a magic channel. Number two, I want to, I want to make sure that it's, well, I'm moving soon. I guess that's the main thing. I'm moving soon, and when I move, I'm making a magical man cave. So I want lots of props for my magical man cave, and one of those things is a spell book. I don't just want one spell book, I want lots. So I figured I'm going to be making this anyway, and I think it's probably the sort of thing that my members and viewers would like to watch. So, I mean, I may be wrong, but yeah. I mean, you're here, you're watching it, so thank you for that. So hopefully this is going to be of interest to people anyway, and I appreciate it is before Halloween. I totally get that. Okay. The Stream Deck may be there and the keyboard may be there, but the glass of water is right between those two. It's not actually. That there, this thing that you're looking at, that's actually the loop deck. But you're right, I need to move that out of the way, because I'm really klutzy. I'm probably going to spill it at some point. What is Halloween? Halloween is the day before All Saints Day, or All Hallows Day. So All Hallows Eve, or the Eve of All Hallows, is Halloween. Elmer's glue is so popular that even Iceland has it. How does the UK not have it? I think we do have it. I think you've just got to seek it out a bit. And yep, I bought it back when slimes were still popular. Don't bully me. I wouldn't dream of it. I'm just asking why you're making it. It's not Halloween yet. Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's why. So I make lots of stuff about Halloween that isn't Halloweeny. It's not necessarily about Halloween either. It's about magic and magic in general. So yeah, this is a magic channel, so that's why. I make this sort of stuff all year round. Maybe not at Christmas. Maybe at Christmas I sort of focus on Christmas magic, but yeah. Oh, loop deck, yes. Right, where are we? Then don't do a giveaway and keep it for the man cave. No, I've got... The thing is, I'm going to be giving this one away. Ta-da! So, oh, upside down. So, there you go. I'm going to be giving away the Evil Spells book. It doesn't have anything on the back. You could, of course, stick, like, I don't know, a cutout on here or something like that, that has like a blurb on there. Anything like that. Little embellishments. So, yeah. Now, normally what I would do, and this isn't really conducive to a live stream, normally I would say leave this for a good couple of hours just to fully dry. It probably will dry during the course of the live stream, hopefully. But yeah. Kind of looks like the intro to Harry Potter 1, does it? What's that? Harry Potter 1. I wish the book stayed the way it looks right now, just paint the letters, it'd look awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you could do. I mean, you could definitely do that. I did. My daughter actually made one. And she kind of got to this stage and then sort of lost interest, and yeah, oh, I've got to wait for it to dry. So yeah, she then sort of disappeared off and didn't bother ever finishing it. It actually looked quite good. It kind of looked sort of milky, cloudy, like you said. So yeah, it did look quite nice like that. The other thing you can do, of course, is to trim off all of the excess, because then what you can do is to sort of tuck it in. So you could just trim off all of this bit. Ooh. Not that there's really a right and a wrong way of doing this. It's certainly not really a wrong way of doing it, but what you can do is open the book completely and then sort of tuck it around. So I might just do that, just so you sort of know what I'm talking about. Now I'm doing this like this because I kind of want it to look quite raggedy. I know it looks like I'm making a mistake and cutting it really badly, but this is there's a method in my madness. I'm doing it for a very good reason. Okay. So, what you've got on the spine, you see, is this sort of almost toothy kind of look. I'm not going to touch that for the moment. I'm not going to finish anything on that, but I'm just going to open the book like this. Okay. And then again with the brush, very gently take some on here and then just wrap it around. See what I'm doing there? Hopefully. So that's what you do. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to prop that open and use a little bit of, I'll put that there for the minute, just to keep that one open, and then I'm going to use a little bit of string, not string, gardener's garroting wire, no, gardener's twine stuff, gardener's wire, is that what they call it, floral wire, something like that. Although I don't know whether that's strong enough, so I'm not going to bother. What I'll do though, I'll just leave that glass in there at the moment, just to sort of keep it open, and you know what, because I can, I'm just going to finish it. So I'm just going to tuck that around here. To be honest, it looks cool. Oh, thank you very much. That's kind of the idea. It should look cool, hopefully. And I totally get that, you know, not everybody's going to be into Halloween. that's cool. That's fine. I don't mind. Some people are just not going to get my niche at all. If you're here, hopefully you're in that niche or niche, and if you're not, you know, by all means stay around, but you probably won't get what you want, because I stick pretty tightly to only what my niche or niche is about. So if you don't like it, that's okay. I'm not out to please everybody. I'm only out to please the people who want to watch this stuff. And that's as it should be as well. You know, if you try to please everybody, you never please anyone. But hopefully you're one of those people who, you know, do like it. Everyone likes Halloween, don't they? Most people. I guess it depends on where you live. You know, if people are throwing eggs at your car and stuff, I think you've got a reason not to like Halloween. But actually, one year we had a guy post, I think, 2 eggs through the letterbox. That was fun. Thanks for that. Still never worked out who it was. Got a couple of ideas, but guess I've just got too many enemies. Okay, so that's all it is. It's just literally just sort of tucked around the corner like that. Now I'm not going to go all the way up to the edge, as I've said before, and the reason being is I don't want it to rip when I open it. So that's all we're going to do for now. Just going to leave that sort of propped open with the glass there, and then just wash this one out. And I've also got another mug here. This is my fire whiskey mug that I made, available from my Etsy store, link down in the description. I think it's available from my Etsy store anyway. I don't know. It's probably on my on realworldmagic.net maybe. Again, the link should be in the description, but I'm just going to pour away some of this water so that it doesn't spill, and if it does spill, you know, well, if when I'm pouring it spills, it's not necessarily the end of the world, because I've got the tissue. There we go. Right, now I mean this can be quite messy, so please bear that in mind, but the glue itself is water based, the paint is going to be water based, the tissue, you know, is easy enough because it's there anyway and you're already using kitchen towel. Mopping up is really easy. Are you British? I am. Yeah, so I think it would look best if you tucked it in like you said, so I did. To be honest, it looks cool, thank you. Is it too early for Christmas videos? It probably is a little bit, although there is a channel called Christmas in July on Sky, I think it is, and yeah, they're quite popular apparently. What do you do in the Friday of 13th? So this Friday the 13th I'm going to be driving down to Devon, so it's a sort of 500-mile weekend, so that's going to be fun. Going to drive down, drive back, drive down, drive back, because I'm picking up my son on Friday the 13th, so that's what I'm doing. That's not true, actually. No, I'm driving down on Friday the 13th and driving back on Friday the 13th, but I'm not driving down, driving back, down, driving back, because he's staying up for a little bit, so that's that. It's on my website, cool. Realworldmagic.net, that's cool. You need cameras. Cameras, do I? I mean, I've got this camera here. It's not on your Etsy, might be on your website though. Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to show the mug anymore, because if I do, I would be pouring out all of the water all over my floor. So I'm not going to plan on doing that. But yeah, so that's the idea. So now that we've done we've done sort of most of it, just leaving that to dry now. So this can take quite some time. It is starting to dry off already. Best not to play with it really. Show the mug, show the mug, show the mug. I'm not showing the mug because otherwise I'm just going to spill water all over the place, and I'm not doing that. But if you want to go to realworldmagic.net, then you can pick up a Fire Whiskey mug. I'll show this mug. That's my Honeydukes one, which is zeroing out on the green screen. So, oh yeah, now you can see what I'm drinking. It's just orange squash. So it's got the Honeydukes logo like that, and it's also got chocolate is melted frogs. That's what it says. This is my favourite mug by far, and I'm not just saying it because I designed it, but that's available on my website as well, so realworldmagic.net if you want one of those. This is the Fire Whiskey mug, which I designed, so I drew that, and then, yeah, hopefully it's not going to fall out of my hands and all over my computer. There we go. So that's how to make an evil spell book, kind of like this. And then all you have to do is just paint it. Now I'm going to be painting this on a separate live stream because I think this is going to take a little bit of time just to dry. It's drying fairly fast, it's really hot in here and the fan's on. So that will definitely speed things up, but it's probably best to leave it for a couple of hours. And just doing this on a live stream, I've done as much as I possibly can on the live stream. I've kind of then got to wait. Am I using Wi-Fi for streaming? I'm not. I'm using hardwire. I have used Wi-Fi in the past. It's problematic. Did you just put it in your mouth? You're going to glue your mouth shut? No, I'm not. I did. Yeah, now that it's clean, you can do pretty much anything you want with this thing. I mean, it's probably best not to lick it. Don't lick it, boys and girls. What about the spine? So the spine can be done in exactly the same way, but what you've got to do first of all is to make sure that it's closed fully and then do the spine. Now obviously if you're going to do it closed fully, you're going to need to do the front, then do the back, then do the spine, and then sort of sit it up on its ridge here. See that? So you're going to sort of want to sit it up there. This is the spine, you're going to want to sit it on this bit. I'm not going to do that simply because it's kind of beyond the remit of this video. So once you've done all of this stuff, you can paint it, and here's one I made earlier, basically. So it will look very roughly like this. So if you've got the spine, just make sure that the whole thing is closed properly like this. Then do the same things with the tissue paper. So what you can do here, you can either sort of trim it so it's nice and flush, or you can feather it like I've done here, or you can do multiple layers. But ultimately, if you do anything with this, just make sure that they're all kind of nicely blended in and wrinkled up together. Just a question, I know you're not professional in this kind of thing, but it's possible to stream in 4K using mobile data. Is it possible? I don't know, to be honest. I think that might be a bit of a stretch. You could certainly try. I would say if you tried streaming in 4K, you'd need a really good data connection. I know most streamers don't even bother, even if they're hardwired, so I don't think so. No, I would say probably not. Yeah. Did you put the tissue paper on the back on this one? I didn't, no, I just did it on the front. On this one I did, on that one I didn't. Does that make sense? On this green one I did, on the one that I've just done I haven't. So I've done a bit of a feathering, and then what you can do is to do the back, you can either put some other things on there. I probably wouldn't, using the EVA foam that I used, simply because it would kind of make the back look like the front. But what you can do, please hold, what you can do is to use paper like this and print it off, so that then when it goes on here, you'd like cut out a little piece and it would have like the blurb on it and stuff like that, and I would then just get stuck on there. If you were to do that, just use a black Sharpie marker along the side to make it look like it's burnt, or just look a bit grubby, because otherwise if it's just pure white along here, it'll just look a bit weird. So yeah, I mean, you can certainly do that, that's fine. Is that the envelope for Hogwarts acceptance letters? Yes, it's the same paper. Yeah, so you've already got one of those letters, I think. I'm sure you have. Which means that, yeah, you can have a look at that and see the colour and all of that sort of thing. I'm talking about the green one, yeah. So on the green one I did, because I wanted it kind of wrinkly and kind of funky. Then with the painting technique, all you do is to paint it over with whatever colour you want, and then using a lighter colour, once it's dry, just dry brush it. A dry brush technique is, pardon me, a dry brush technique is basically where you take the brush like this, dip it into the paint, and just pretty much wipe it clean, not entirely clean, but almost all of it off, and then just very, very quickly just sort of up and down strokes like this, and it will just pick out all of the detail, so that the light colour of the lighter paint will pick up the highlights, all of the stuff that's sort of raised above, and it will just wipe off on that stuff. So yeah, I didn't make you one. I definitely made you a letter when I sent through a couple of bits and bobs, I'm sure I did. Maybe not a Hogwarts acceptance letter, but yeah. Again, Hogwarts acceptance letters, I think the templates are available to members, and only members. So if you want to be a member, head on down to the link in the description. So I think this is now starting to dry off a little bit. So as it dries, this is the other thing, as it dries you'll start to see it is starting to come back a little bit. So it will go quite white to begin with, then it will start to sort of dry up, and as it dries up this will become a lot more translucent. So although the wrinkles will still stay white, the rest of the design will start to get darker. So that's what's happening in this area, this area, this area, as it's starting to dry. So that's kind of how you'll know that it is dry, because it'll look dry, I guess. How long do we wait for it to dry? I would probably wait at least a couple of hours, and again, I'm not going to do that all on the live stream. Unfortunately, I just don't have time. I mean, if you guys want to hang around, by all means you can wait and watch paint dry. It's not going to be paint, it's going to be glue, but yeah, I'm fairly sure that old adage is an old adage, because you don't want to watch it. It's like watching paint dry, meaning it's boring. I suggest you to use BGM in your videos. BGM, I don't know what that means. Is that a thing? I don't know. Tell me what that means. Sounds good though. I could certainly try something, but I don't know what BGM is. Am I swearing? I don't know what it is. Could be anything. But yeah, I mean, if it's all about the quality of the video, then I get it. "10 hours of paint drying and it has 915,000 views. Background music. Oh, gotcha. So like this sort of thing. Maybe I should. Ooh, is that spooky enough for you? Let me know what you think, Hiroto. Background music. Thank you, Link Kirby. Yeah, I didn't know what it stood for. BGM. Could be anything. But yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should. Do you mean in the... Is it coming... It's not coming through my speakers, no. It's coming through the desktop audio. But I'll tell you what I could do. Let me see if I can raise that a little bit. Yeah, hopefully that's going to work for you. There you go. That's better. Cool. Yeah. So I could keep on. Could keep on doing that if you want. Do you mean in the videos or in the live stream videos? I don't know what you mean. Lo-fi music. Again, not really sure what that is. God, I am such an old guy. I don't know what half of the stuff you're talking about is. But I'm not using hip hop. No, that's just not me at all. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too chilled. Maybe I should use some Vivaldi or something like that. Something without copyright. That's probably the best option. Or yeah, stream beats or something like that. He won't like it. He won't like it. Are you talking about me? I wouldn't say I don't like hip hop music, but I'm just not sure it's really in keeping with the whole Real Wizardry image. I think this tune is. It's a bit more spooky. In fact, I could even make it, you know, a bit of thunderstorms. Use chilling music, yeah. Do you like the thunderstorms though? I do. I'm just going to turn these up actually so that I can hear it properly. Yeah. Lo-fi music, which is not witchcrafty enough. Yeah. Oh, lo-fi. Right, gotcha. L-O-F-I. Yeah, lo-fi. No, fair point. But there we go. So this is how to make the evil spellbook. All you need to do, first of all, you need some EVA foam like this. This is all cut out, so this is what it looks like once it's come out of my Cricut cutting machine. So you can see that, you know, it cuts pretty perfectly, decent circles and all the sort of jaggedy bits and all of that sort of stuff. So all I did, I used one of these Cricut blades. I'm probably just going to sell these. So this is it. So these are the Cricut blades that you can buy. This is a deep cut blade, and it's absolutely perfect for cutting EVA foam. So this is the sort of stuff that you can get for like making foam shapes and stuff like that. I just bought a sheet of it from Hobbycraft, and I used the deep cut blade, this one here, to cut into it using my Cricut cutting machine, which is, you know, super easy. And I've designed this whole thing to make it look kind of like that but better, and it's going to be available on my Etsy store, link down in the description. So once you've done this and you've got all the pieces, just lay them out on top of the book, then make sure that you've got some decent PVA glue like this. So this is one I got from B&Q. This is a 5 litre jug. You definitely don't need anywhere near that amount, so something like Mod Podge, a tiny little tub, absolutely fine. You know what might even work, maybe, is Pritt Stick. I haven't tried it. I didn't want to try it simply because I don't think it would work terribly well, but you never know. Sell them, 50 quid, because they're now YouTube famous. Well, I could, but I'm going to give away this one to members. Again, if you want to be a member, head on down to the link in the description. You could get it completely for free. So it's magical lo-fi music on YouTube, and use that. I could do. I just behave. I could just use stream beats or something like that. So yeah. I'm talking about the Cricut blades. Yeah. I'm not going to sell them for 50 quid. No one's going to buy them for 50 quid. But I could definitely sell these for like £15 maybe. I've got a couple of these spare. Yeah, I've got 3 of them, so I'm using one of them. If you want one of these, message me, let me know. I'll sell them to you below market rate. How about that? Gee, don't wreck it. You're lucky you didn't spill anything. Yeah, I guess so. We're good. So that's basically how to create the evil spellbook. So you've got the book blank, so it doesn't really need to be anything in particular. I mean, for example, this one's the Other Queen by Philippa Gregory. I believe it's a romance novel. I've not read it, but the way that I'm doing this is so that I can actually read these things afterwards if I want to. I don't. and it's also green screen on here, which is why I've got this one so it doesn't zero out, so you can still see it, you know. So you've got the book, you've then got all the foamy pieces, you then put everything, arrange them properly, cover them all with this sort of stuff. Again, this was only ever one sheet, and I've only used one sheet on this one here. So we've got the other pieces. You can do the whole lot with just one single sheet of tissue paper. When I say tissue paper, I mean kitchen roll, you know, kitchen towel, kitchen paper, towel paper, whatever you want to call it. Loads of people call lots of different things. So call it what you like, but basically it's the stuff that mops up spillages in your kitchen. Don't use a tea towel. A tea towel will not work, but kitchen paper will. So once you've done that and you've stuck everything down using PVA glue, make sure you do wash out your brushes, and then literally it's just a case of making it look however you want. You can use scissors to cut this stuff out, you can use a Cricut to cut these things out. You can even buy these pieces from me. I'm going to be putting the pieces, so all of the things that I've cut out here, I'm going to be putting those on my Etsy store so that you can buy how to make this. It's not going to be up just yet. It's going to be online probably in a couple of days, because I need to make sure that this is completely finished, completely painted. I might even do another live stream tomorrow, maybe, where I paint this thing. No, you don't call it toilet kitchen. That's not a thing. Don't do that. You don't like the music? Fair enough. I thought you said you used background music, so I thought I did. Yeah, right. Fair point. You don't like it. All right, whatever. We're getting weird spikes in the concurrent viewers, so it's sort of going up. When I started using background music, it went up and then it went down again. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe other people agree with you. Who knows?
Wow,
yes, you could say please though, Hiroto. That's very rude. So, if you want these pieces, I will be selling those on Etsy so that you can make your own stuff. I might even do a whole package, so you can buy the glue, you can buy these pieces, and you can buy some tissue paper that's pre-peeled. You've summoned the mermaids with the music, have I? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about at all. You've summoned the mermaids. Alright. So yeah, you can buy these pieces from my Etsy store. You will be able to by the time I've finished this book. So as you can tell now, this is the interesting thing, right? So as you can tell, if you did a time lapse on this, there are lots more black areas now than there were before when I pointed them out. So over here, we've got this one, this. It's now starting to really start to become properly black. Not in all areas, obviously, and there is still some stuff that's quite damp. But after a while, it will start to really get quite dark, and that's when you know that it's ready for paint. So that's pretty much all from me for now, I think. White equals dry, so black equals dry. No, transparent equals dry. So if it really depends on what colour the book was to begin with, and it depends on what colour the EVA foam is. I'm using black EVA foam on a black book, so once it's dry it goes black. If it was a white book with white EVA foam, once it's white, to be honest, it'll probably be white anyway, so it might be a bit more difficult, but you should be able to tell fairly quickly just by looking at it. It kind of looks a bit milky, so yeah, I know that milk and black don't tend to go well together, but you'll see what I mean once it's finished, because it kind of has that sort of milky kind of sheen to it. But it will be black on this because it's a black book with black EVA foam. I've explained that dreadfully, but hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Basically, the glue turns into a plastic, and the plastic is sort of transparent-ish. So yeah, if your book is black, then once it's dry, the glue will go transparent and it will look black. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I think that's pretty much it from me for now. But if you want to win this book, then head on over to the link down in the description where you can join this channel from $1.99 and then tune in at 6 p.m. where you can win it, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, you can win it completely for free, no postage or anything. Isn't that good?
Wow,
I know, I think it's good. So I think that's pretty much it from me for now. I've said that already. I'm going to get going. Thanks ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. That was, what, almost 2 hours, that? Blimey. Crikey. And again, if you don't have any colour shapers or a special brush like this that has sort of thin on one side and thick on the other, you could just use cotton wool buds like this, just to sort of dab into the corners and stuff. I didn't do that because I've got the right sort of brush for it. But if you don't have either of those things, you could always use a colour shaper. You can use a pen, you can use a particularly sharp cat. I don't know, anything. Don't use a cat. For legal reasons, yes, you need to compete to win. You do. Yeah, you do. At some point, you don't necessarily need to compete on every single question. Like Chivalrous Tube, for example, last week didn't compete for the first question, but because someone else got it wrong, they lost a point and he then stayed the same. Can you use your cat? You could. Again, for legal reasons, don't, because that's very cruel. But you could, yes. Don't do that. Don't use any livestock in the creation of this book, or that book, or any book. Just don't do it. Right. That is enough from me, I think. I have been talking for far too long. Again, a massive shout out to these wonderful people who make this sort of thing possible. Hopefully you'll catch this on catch up. I know you haven't been able to watch this live, which is a shame, possibly due to the time zones and all of that sort of stuff. But I would quite like to do more of this sort of thing in the future. So hopefully you enjoyed it and hopefully you found some value in it. This is how to make an evil spellbook for Halloween. So I'm probably going to do some sort of compilation of how I did this and do it live. Sorry, not do it live, do it as a full video. I would quite like to do another one of these. So in time, maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't know. You threw your cat in the glue too. Yeah, don't do that. Don't throw your cat in the glue. But again, thanks very much to these wonderful people. I will catch you all again next time with some more magical awesomeness. But until next time, as always,
Stay magical.
Hello! Remember to like this video, comment if you have anything interesting to say, subscribe and ding that bell to turn on notifications of next time Neil goes live or uploads anything. You can also become a patron at Patreon or join as a member of this channel by clicking the link below that looks like this. Members get special benefits like a wizard apparition license, 10% off everything in the shop, and I'll even say hello to you by name on the live stream every Saturday night at 6 p.m. UK time. Membership starts at £1.99 per month. It's well worth it. You get loads of peanuts for that. That's all for now. See you soon.
good job I wasn't picking my nose. There we go. Thanks for watching. See you again next time.